Good afternoon, Wealth Our Way Nation. What is going on? It is your man, Charles Tank Harris, the founder and chief visionary officer of the financial literacy platform Wealth Our Way, where our motto is wealth is not only for the wealthy. I would like to welcome each and every one of you to episode 76 for Pressing Financial Concerns. Before we get started, I want to thank each and every person who is live with me as I stream across the Wealth Our Way Facebook and YouTube platforms. Want to give that special Wealth Our Way Nation salute to the nation members who watch the pre-recorded version of this broadcast overnight, over the weekend, wherever they can squeeze 15 minutes of financial literacy in. And a heartfelt how are you to the Life 101 platform members who listen to the audio of this very here program. Hey, you know what? We're less than, we're about a week away. Yes, today is the October 7th. My days all run together. We are a week away from the 3-day webinar that I'm putting together for all things life insurance. You guys will all start to get emails, invitations, see it all over the Wealth Our Way platforms. We're going to go 3 straight pre-recorded sessions on all things life insurance. I will be live in the sessions to answer any questions that pop up. I'm very, very excited about that, seeing as how September that just passed was Life Insurance Awareness Month. I had a meeting with a client via Zoom earlier today, and she said to me, Tank, I don't know anything at all about life insurance. I got a million questions. I said, definitely check out the webinar. We'll get a lot of questions answered. And then, of course, any one-on-one in particular questions you may have, I can help out with. Today, I was reading an article on Real Simple magazine about pressing financial concerns, what sits heavy on people's mind, and the 4 pressing financial concerns that they covered in the magazine. I said to myself, take it to your audience, take it to the people, and let's talk about it here at 15 Minutes of Finance and see what the Wealth Our Way Nation thinks about these topics. Also want to give you the opportunity to ask any questions regarding any of these topics. So let's just get right into it. The first one is keeping priorities in check. This is probably, and I'm glad they had it at number 1. This is probably the number 1 thing that I struggle with as a financial professional, is helping people organize their finances in a way that will make them take action, keeping their priorities in check, knowing that this is a whole shift from what you were used to doing something else. The reality is I'm actually in the middle of listening to an audiobook right now for the second time called Atomic Habits. Very good book by a guy named, I think his name is James Clear. And the book basically talks about how you can change your habits, why we even have habits, why some things are so easy to do, why the habits that are most detrimental to us are the ones that get so ingrained in us and are so easy to keep repeating. When you want to make permanent positive change, there is a process of rewiring your mind, making things easy, making them become a habit. Finances is normally at the top of that list. We talked about last month about starting in Q4, what most people wait to the top of the year to start with resolutions, getting an idea on how to change your finances. Most people want to change their weight, change their romantic status, improve romantic status. These are things that we have to work on. They do not take care of themselves. So keeping priorities in check. A second thing is being more money conscious. This goes hand in hand with the first one. And I don't criticize anyone who is not like this. Once again, we all have our strengths and our weaknesses. One of my weaknesses is if I'm near a grill, and shout out to the big OG homie, Joe Greenwood, who held us down at Temple's homecoming last weekend. He saw me looking over at the grill and he threw some burgers on for you, man. Appreciate your family. But, when I'm near a grill, I'm focused on the grill. I'm like, when we having a burger, when we having a hot dog, when we getting this right. There are certain things that we choose to focus on and certain things that we don't. I also have a very heavy focus on all things financial. I am the person who goes into a mall or a business of any kind, and I'm thinking, how they carry their inventory, what their taxes are, what their overhead and payroll is like. Most people are oblivious to this. They're in there, they buy their item, they get out. I'm always thinking about financial things. We have things in our mind that are at top level that we stay conscious over. If you are not conscious about your finances, this is something that you can also train yourself to become more aware of. People who know me personally and are around me a lot will hear me say that I think intelligence has three components. I think intelligence has the awareness component, being aware of your surroundings so you can actually use the intelligence you have, being experienced in a certain area. If you've seen it before, you know how to handle it. And then what most people think of when they say smart, that ability to cognitively recognize and process something. You have to have all three. For me, the biggest one is awareness. When you are conscious of something, you can act accordingly. If you want to get your finances together, the first thing you have to do is be someone who puts finances at the top of the pecking order. The next thing is safeguarding savings. I feel like I'm picking on the one client I had on my Zoom this morning because she was in particular talking about protecting her savings from herself, from her spouse, just basically having savings segregated from other money. Yesterday, we talked about the impending stock market, the imminent stock market crash that I'm predicting is coming. And we talked about making sure that the money you have invested is money that you are not counting on to use this week. And I talked about the difference between savings and investments. With that being said, savings is something that you should have for short-term emergencies or liquid gifts or ideas that are coming up, and it should be segregated from the cash you use on a day-to-day basis. The last thing was planning for the future. I think that's the number one thing we talk about here on Wealth Our Way. We're concerned with budgeting today. We're concerned with getting through our day-to-day average needs and wants, but we're always concerned about tomorrow. The guy James Clear said in his book, we need to change things that we look at as burdens, obligations, or negative things into positive things. And one of the examples he used was savings. He said people normally don't like to save because they see it as giving up something. They see it as being negative. Oh, I can't buy these shoes. Oh, I can't go on this trip. He said, how about changing that in your mind to saving today increases my buying power in the future, and focusing on the positive of the increased buying power and not focusing on the sacrifice of what you can't buy today. So this is not just something that I talk about here at Wealth Our Way. These are not just thoughts that go through your mind. I scour the internet for national news of what people are talking about financially. And those are four major pressing concerns of people between the ages of 20 and 60. So if you fall in that demographic and you're thinking about those things, you are not alone. I ask and implore you guys to be ready for the webinar next week. It's going to be big. You see the information scrolling across the bottom of the screen right now, telling you about the Wow Wealth Building Contest. Attending the webinar is a very key part to that. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. I love sharing this financial information with you, and I want to make sure we all walk away from here knowing at least one thing, and that is that wealth is not only for the wealthy. Have a great day. I will see you tomorrow. Take care.